Good morning, Sabah al-Khair ya Dunya. My name is Torsten Schwarz. I'm CEO of egyptbusiness.com, presenting you this week's digital news. Language models are everywhere. We present you 5 alternatives to ChatGPT. 4 institutions want to regulate generative AI. 2 institutions warn against ChatGPT. Google builds its own AI search engine, and Rapunzel can talk. 5 alternatives to ChatGPT. It's growing and it's coming as an open source alternative. The Lion community, which means large-scale artificial intelligence network, introduced their own language models. It's initiated by the developer Andreas Köpf and YouTuber Yannick Kilcher, and it will be an open source. Number 2 is Stability AI. They are developers of Stable Diffusion, the image production company, and the new language model is Stable LM, which is, by the way, also used by Lion. Number 3, Amazon Web Services has a product called Bedrock, and it's not an own language model, but it takes the language models of AI21 Labs, of Anthropic, I reported last week about them, and Stability AI, the company behind Stable Diffusion. Number 4, Alibaba has a product. It's a kind of DigiTalk, and it's similar to Teams. That means companies get AI into their working environment. And number 5 is Snapchat, which has now an AI chatbot, which they have already, and now it's free for everybody. What can we learn as a company? Try it out and watch the evolution, but please try it out what is working and what's not working. 4 institutions want to regulate generative AI, and that is good because it's going to be dangerous. The federal government of Germany wants to have clear rules, as our interior minister said. The European Union Parliament is discussing to classify ChatGPT as a high-risk technology. And in the US, the National Telecommunication and Information Administration is going further. They collect proposals how to regulate generative AI. And China, as very often, is the most fastest. They already have an AI Act, and they already have a database of undesirable content. What does all that mean for you as a company? Introduce internal rules how to use generative AI because it is dangerous in some way. Institutions warn against ChatGPT. And now comes the danger. The first is an appeal by the Alliance of Creators and Artists from 43 European associations, because their content is being used to train the language models. And the US Congress discusses and has invited the Federal Trade Commission, FTC, and they classify ChatGPT as a turbocharged fraud. That means fraud will be even more dangerous because the language model can do things which we definitely don't want them to do. What does all this mean for you as a company? Involve the legal department to see what is allowed and what is not allowed. Google to build an AI search engine. Oh yeah. Now, Google lost compared to Microsoft because Microsoft, they have their ChatGPT, and the New York Times is reporting that Samsung is discussing of using Bing instead of Google as a search engine. And Apple might think of that too, and this is would be very bad for Google. So they have a project now named Magi, like magic, and it is magic. And it's in a search engine where you can ask questions and have an image search which is better than the existing one. What does that mean for you as a company? Place your ads not only on Google, but try Bing because they are getting a better reach due to the good possibilities of asking questions. People now prefer Bing over Google. Rapunzel can talk. You know the fairy tales, and now you can talk to the characters of your fairy tale. It's an app on the iPhone. It's called Super Chat. And there you can talk to Shakespeare, to Albert Einstein, to Cleopatra, to Neil Armstrong. And you can just talk to them because they got all the knowledge of this person through artificial intelligence. And of course, it's also Snow White and Sherlock Holmes and Rapunzel. What does that mean for you as a company? Do this with your company content. Plan your company chat so I can ask the chatbot of your company anything I want to ask your company and you want to tell me. Thank you for listening to the weekly podcast of EgyptBusiness.com. Ma salama.